Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So my name is Jessie. If you are new here, I do all kinds of lifestyle content, but kind of surrounding living with chronic illness, owning my own business that I literally just started, and then just trying to figure out this whole life thing, and I'm sharing it all with you. I also really like to talk about just different parts of wellness when it comes to your life. So obviously I have chronic illness. I talk about that a lot, but there's also financial wellness and mental wellness and all these different things. So today I'm actually going to dive into the financial wellness side and show you all how I created my own budget in Google Sheets. I actually have a template that you guys can grab if you'd like. Otherwise, you can see literally how I do it, how I budget my own money, and then go from there, and you can create your own budget. So if you're interested in learning how to do that, just keep on watching. So if you are new here, I have shared about some financial struggles that my husband and I have had in the past, but we have quite a bit of debt between student loans, health loans. We both have chronic illness, and then just other silly mistakes that we've made in our life, quite honestly, that have led to a little bit of debt. So with debt, about two and a half, maybe almost 3 years ago, I decided that I really needed to take this into my own hands and figure this stuff out. So we started, or I should say, I started very strictly budgeting. And then when my husband and I got married, I took over all of our finances for the household. So having a really easy to use, simple budgeting template that I just use in Google Sheets because I'm on my computer all day anyway, was a really great way for me to be able to do all the things that I needed to do quickly, easily, no harm, no foul. So I know that, Dave Ramsey, there's so many people out on YouTube who are telling you exactly how you should budget. And I really think that just making it work for you is the best way to do that. So I'm going to show you how I do mine. I'm also going to show you my template. So I have this template that I sell over on Etsy that you can purchase. It's like $5, super cheap, but it's literally this template. So if you don't want to go over there and spend $5, you can literally look at this and create your own template. But I like to make it as simple as possible. And I'll show you my budget just over here in a second. But so you can see how I even took my own template and changed it based on where things were at with my life. So I have a little area right here for income. So if you have more than one job, if you have someone in your household, like a husband or a wife or a partner or whatever, you can track all of your incomes coming in here. You can just easily add one. You can add a new job if you have more than that. So that is just an easy way to do that. Then moving on to regular expenses. So this is all of your fixed expenses for the month. So these are expenses that aren't really going to change that much. You're going to have to pay every single month. So think rent, mortgage, home insurance, utilities, things like that that might change, but for the most part, you're going to budget around the same amount every single month. So these are bills you have to pay every single time, unfortunately, and that is just what a fixed expenses is. So I have regular expenses there. This over here, which I'll show you in a minute, kind of shows how much of your income, percent of your income, is actually being used in that payment. So for example, if you're making $10,000 a month and this is $1,000 a month that you pay, that's 10% of your income in your housing. So it's just an interesting thing to follow. I don't really pay attention to it, to be honest, but it's still interesting to know, especially for us when it comes to debt, because our debt to income ratio is outrageous right now, especially with me just having left my job. So it's just an interesting thing to see, and I can hopefully watch it continue to go down. So speaking of debt, the next section here, which I'm looking at my computer, so if you see me in the little camera looking down, that's what I'm looking at, my budget right now. The debt section is any debts that you have. If you are lucky and you have been wonderful with your money or have paid off all of your debt, you don't need this section. You can just delete that on out. But if you do have debt, I really think that budgeting is a great way to pay attention to that. So over here, you can add in the balance, your due date, and when you paid it, if that's something that you're interested in keeping track of. And then it'll kind of all lump into the same thing. So then this total expenses area is just the debt and the regular expenses added up. So you can see between the two things that I have to pay every single month, this is how much I'm paying. Okay, and then from there, you move on to variable expenses. So these are expenses that are going to change, that maybe some months you budget for, or you don't, really depending on where your budget is at. So you can, it's things like groceries or restaurants. Maybe you're going to lower your grocery budget this month and higher your restaurant budget, or you have a hair appointment. Oh my girls, it's like way too expensive to get your hair done. So you can add that in, different things like that. I do recommend always having a household and miscellaneous budget if you can, even if it's something small, because sometimes something is a little bit over. You have to like randomly buy batteries, or you have to buy a new phone case or something like that. So it's just a good little piece to keep in here. And then sinking funds. So these are like your little savings accounts outside of your regular savings. If you are interested in saving up for a car or for traveling, or saving some money for car maintenance in case something happens. So personally, we don't do a ton with sinking funds anymore. We just have like a big overarching savings account that is for kind of everything. But if there's something coming up, like for example, we know we're going to travel somewhere, which we're not right now, anybody else, but maybe we know, say we're going to go to Ireland at the end of 2022 and we want to start saving for that now. So we start putting $100 a month toward that, so that when it gets to that point, we have that money instead of spending $5,000 on a trip the day that it comes in. If you're budgeting and you can put away $100 every single month, you can get to that amount a little bit quicker, and it's not like so much of a difficulty when it comes out of your budget in 1 month. So from there, this equals out your total of variable and sinking funds, and then it gives you your total out, so how much you spent total. And then if you had to transfer in any of your sinking fund money that you needed to use, so for example, say you had to use some of your car maintenance fund, you can put that in there and it'll all equal out. So you can kind of see where things are going from there. And then your income remaining. So that's an easy way that you can see, oh my gosh, I'm going to be like over budget this month, or I'm going to be under budget and I have a little bit more money to put towards savings, things like that. So that is just like my easy plug and play budget template that I use. I will now show you how I use it in my own home. Okay, so now we're in my budget. I have all of our personal information blocked out just because that's what we're comfortable with sharing. But I have my income, Ben's income. We are thinking of maybe doing like some Uber Eats delivery. We haven't done it yet. We signed up, but we haven't done it yet. But if we bring in any income for that, if we have any rollover from the month prior, and then just miscellaneous things, like if we get a gift, if I sell anything on Beauty Counter or on Etsy, then I'll just keep track of that there, because it's not something that I ever am really expecting at this point. So that's kind of how I budget that extra money. So then if you go into our fixed expenses, prearranged expenses, regular expenses. So these are all the things that I know I'm going to be spending. So our rent right now, it's more than $1,000, but Ben's business pays some of this. So that's a whole other story that I'm not going to get into, but what comes out of the house account is $1,000. And then we have all of our other expenses that we pay. Some of these are actually business expenses for my business, but I haven't created an LLC yet. So I have to like figure all that stuff out so that I can take this out of my house account. But for right now, this like small amount of money is coming out of here. And then you can see our total spent there. And then unfortunately, the big dagger over here is our debt. It's 43.5% of our income, which like just makes my heart hurt. So that is kind of where that is at. And then we go to here, which is our variable expenses. So as you can see, I split out my expenses that pop up instead of sinking funds. But my variable expenses, I wanted to know how much I was spending strictly on that. So I just added another line item versus what is over here. There isn't a line item there. So yeah, these are like what I'm budgeting, hoping that we won't actually spend that much. Some of these are at zero because I know I won't be going to the doctor or the therapist next month at this point. And then right now we're not putting any money into these little like sinking fund type areas because we, with my income being like half as much as it used to be because I just started my business and Ben's business is variable, we're not putting any money into these like savings accounts right now. So that is how I personally use my budget template for like keeping track of my budget. It doesn't have to be difficult, it doesn't have to be confusing, it doesn't have to be in some program. It can just easily be on your computer, super simple. So if you're interested, I will keep this link down below so that you can purchase mine. Otherwise, literally just create your own. I think Google Templates might even have like a template that you can use. I didn't use that, but you could try that out. And then another thing that I actually started is this debt snowball. So this is a way that I keep track of my current debts. We have quite a bit of debt, as you guys can see. So this is a personal loan, which is a refinancing of some credit cards and a lot of medical debt that I had. And then Ben has some other things over here due to medical debt. And then we have my car loan. And then this is all of our student loan debt. So I had also split it out over here just so I could see it a little bit differently, because while I want to pay off my student loan debt and my car debt as soon as possible, what's actually the most painful to me is this $32,000 of consumer debt. So that is what Ben and I really want to pay off as soon as we're able to. So I like to keep all of my like debt snowball in this same spreadsheet because it's really easy for me to see. This isn't currently a part of the like $5 thing that I'm sending you via Google Sheets, but if you're interested, this is how I do this. It's super easy. But yeah, so that is it. That's how I created a budget in Google Sheets. Super simple, super easy. You can purchase, like I said, the link down below if you would like from me. Otherwise, create your own. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I would love to help you. I really believe in budgeting, but I also believe in not letting it take over your life and not letting it consume you, because it can be a lot, and I've been there, trust me. So I want to make sure that y'all are having the best experience as possible. So my computer currently sounds like a jet ready to take off, which means it wants me to stop recording. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in Tuesday's video. Bye.